Let's start with the pettiest criminal in the animal kingdom, and slowly work our way to the only animal in American history that was executed for murder. 8 real cases, real arrests, real jail time, real court records, ranked by the severity of the charge. Number 8, shoplifting. It's 2007 in Aberdeen, Scotland, and one corner shop keeps losing exactly one product. Not the money in the till, not the cigarettes behind the counter. Cheese Doritos. The thief is a seagull named Sam, and by the end of this video, you'll know more about animal criminal law than any reasonable person should. Starting with Sam's method, because Sam has a method. He waits outside the door. He watches the shopkeeper, and the moment the man turns his back, Sam walks in. Walks on foot like a customer, takes one bag of cheese Doritos off the bottom shelf, and walks out. Then he rips the bag open on the pavement and shares it with a crew of other gulls. Which means Sam isn't just a shoplifter. He's a distributor. The BBC put him on the news, and the locals responded to this repeat offender the only way Scotland knows how. They started paying the shop for his crisps. The town saw a career criminal with a signature move and gave him a sponsorship. Number 7, Blackie the donkey, assault and battery. He bit a man in the chest, kicked the man's friend who came to help, and did 3 days in an actual jail in Chiapas, Mexico. Case closed. Almost. When reporters asked why there was a donkey in the cells, a police officer named Sinar Gomez told them, quote, "Around here, if someone commits a crime, they are jailed, no matter who they are." I'm not kidding. That is a real quote from a real policeman about a donkey. One more detail before we move on. Blackie never got a lawyer. Remember that. It's going to matter. Number 6, robbery. The violent kind. It's May of 2020. The pandemic is at full strength, and outside a government hospital in Meerut, India, a lab assistant is carrying a box of blood samples from coronavirus patients. A troop of monkeys attacks him and takes the box. A strong-arm robbery of a biohazard in broad daylight during a global lockdown. A senior official at the medical college, Dr. S.K. Garg, had to stand in front of the international press and confirm that yes, monkeys stole the blood of COVID patients and fled with it up a tree. The samples were recovered intact, and officials believe the monkeys thought the box had food in it, which technically makes this a failed robbery. They risked a pandemic for an empty lunchbox. Number 5, attempted armed robbery. 2009, Kwara State, Nigeria. 2 men are caught trying to steal a Mazda 323, and a vigilante group chases them down. 1 man escapes. The other, according to the vigilantes, and I need you to stay with me here, turns to face the wall and transforms into a goat. The vigilantes arrest the goat. They march it to the police station and hand it over as an armed robbery suspect, and the police accept it. They hold the goat in custody. They parade it in front of the press, and a national newspaper runs a photo of a black and white goat over the caption, "Robbery Suspect." Reuters covered this. It went around the world. Now, for the 2 of you watching who believe that goat really was a shape-shifting car thief, I have news. The police reportedly sold him at auction for about $2. So either justice was served, or somewhere in Nigeria, a man was legally purchased for less than the price of Sam's Doritos. No trial, by the way. No lawyer. That's 3 suspects now, and not one attorney between them. Number 4, espionage. In May of 2023, police near the port of Mumbai capture a pigeon wearing 2 leg rings inscribed with what looks like Chinese writing. The conclusion is immediate. Spy. The pigeon is detained for 8 months. 8 months in a cage at a veterinary hospital while the case stays open. And here is where this list breaks its own rules. Because this pigeon is the only suspect on it who was proven completely innocent. The investigation eventually concluded he was a racing pigeon from Taiwan who got lost over the ocean. It still took PETA India filing official paperwork to get him released. He served more time than the donkey, the goat, and the monkeys combined for the crime of wearing foreign jewelry. He wasn't even the first. India detained a pigeon in 2015 over a note written in Urdu and investigated another one in 2020. Somewhere in a filing cabinet, there is a folder labeled Pigeon-Related National Security Incidents, and it is not a thin folder. And before the birds aren't real people arrive in my comments, he was real. He was a bird, and he beat the case. Now, this is the point in the list where the charges stop being cute. From here on, the suspects don't walk away. Number 3, drug trafficking. September 1985, a former narcotics officer turned smuggler named Andrew Thornton is flying a small plane up from Colombia, loaded with cocaine. Somewhere over Georgia, he starts pushing duffel bags out the door. Then he straps the last load to his own body, jumps, and with far too much weight on far too little parachute, lands in a driveway in Knoxville, Tennessee. He does not survive. The empty plane flies on until it hits a mountain in North Carolina. And yes, the smuggler in this story was a former police officer. I didn't make that up. 3 months later, investigators from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation find one of those duffel bags in the woods, torn open. Next to it, a black bear, 175 pounds, dead. The bear had found 75 pounds of cocaine, nearly half his own body weight, and eaten his way into it. The medical examiner said only 3 or 4 grams ever reached his bloodstream. It was enough to shut down everything at once. There's a Hollywood movie where this bear goes on a rampage. The truth is quieter and somehow worse. He hurt no one, rampaged nowhere, and died alone under a tree in possession of a quantity of cocaine that investigators valued in the millions. For a human, that's a federal trafficking charge and several lifetimes in prison. For the bear, the state of Georgia wrote down a cause of death and closed the file. Number 2, murder. The year is 1457 in the village of Savigny in Burgundy, France. A 5-year-old boy named Jehan Martin is killed, and the accused is a sow, a mother pig, arrested at the scene along with her 6 piglets, who are found covered in blood. What happens next is the best documented case on this list. The pigs go to jail. Their owner goes to jail. And 1 month later, the sow stands trial before a judge with 9 witnesses called by name and 3 lawyers in the room, 2 for the prosecution, and 1, as far as the record shows, for the pig. Let me say that plainly. In 1457, a pig got a defense attorney. The seagull didn't get one. The donkey didn't get one. The goat didn't get one. The pig did. And the court took it so seriously that the judge consulted outside legal experts before passing sentence. The sow was found guilty and executed. But her 6 piglets walked free. The court acquitted them on the grounds that they were minors, led astray by, quote, the bad example of their mother. That is a real verdict from a real court, and we know it because a historian named E.P. Evans collected the records in 1906 in a book genuinely titled The Criminal Prosecution and Capital Punishment of Animals. It runs over 300 pages. This happened all the time. Number 1, murder again. Except this time, there is no trial at all. September 11th, 1916, Kingsport, Tennessee. A traveling circus hires a drifter named Red Eldridge to help handle the elephants. He has no experience with animals of any kind. The next evening, he is riding the star of the show in the town parade. Mary, an Asian elephant, 5 tons, heavier than 3 pickup trucks. Accounts of the next minute differ, but here's the version the evidence supports. Mary bends down to reach a piece of watermelon rind. Eldridge jabs her behind the ear with a metal hook. She pulls him off her back and she kills him in front of the crowd. The crowd wants her dead on the spot. Towns along the circus route announce they will not host the show while Mary is alive, and the circus owner does the math. 2 days later, Mary is brought by rail to the town of Irwin, Tennessee, where 2,500 people, most of the town's children among them, gather in the railroad yard to watch a 5-ton elephant be hanged from a railcar-mounted derrick crane. The first chain snaps. Mary falls and breaks her hip. The children scatter. The crew brings a heavier chain, and the second attempt kills her. She is buried beside the tracks, and the crowd goes home. Afterwards, a veterinarian examines her body and finds a severely infected tooth, in the exact spot where Red Eldridge had jabbed her. So, 1457, a pig kills a child and receives a judge, 9 witnesses, and a defense lawyer. 1916, an elephant in pain lashes out once and receives a crane. 4.5 centuries of progress, and somehow the Middle Ages held the fair trial. One of these 8 was proven innocent. At least 2 more, I'd argue, were framed. Pick your client. 1 animal, 1 comment, and make the case for their defense. I'll be reading and judging.